Namaste. Welcome to Beyond Limits. Today, my guest is a super special. He is former British Commonwealth, European, and World Boxing Champion. Yes, boxing champion. He is also a world leading inspirational speaker and personal performance coach. He has written a book, Man Up, the World Champion Way. He also created a brand new 12 weeks coaching program, How to Change Yourself, Your Business, and Your Life in 12 weeks. Please help me welcome the former light welterweight champion in the world, Billy Schwer.
Yay, here we go. It's great to be with you in Nepal, Kathmandu. I've never been there, but I'm there right now.
Billy, your favorite quote starts and ends with boxing. That is, boxing is a great metaphor for life. So, how do you connect boxing with your day to day life or lives of billions?
So, how I relate to boxing is the metaphor, because life, like boxing, can be challenging, it can be confronting. You can win, you can lose. It's a real challenging thing to do, boxing, especially professional boxing. So that's why the relationship to life and boxing are very similar, because life is not easy. It's a battle and it's challenging, and we don't always come out on top. It's a real battle sometimes.
So you believe that to produce world-class result in all areas, whether it's boxing or the mental boxing and the daily challenges in lives, our lives require a balance of mental, physical. So would you like to elaborate that, Billy?
That's a belief that I have, because we're a being, a live being. So then you got to look at the mental, physical, nutritional side of us, the spiritual side of us, the mental boxing that we do with ourselves. It is our mental fitness, our mental toughness that we need to get through our daily lives, the challenges that show up for us daily. So I believe that if you look after yourself physically, you exercise, you take care of your body, you look after yourself nutritionally, you're putting good quality nutrients into your body, and your mind is so important to look after your mind. What are you reading? What are you listening to? What conversations are you having? Because we are energy and we're vibration at a certain frequency. So whatever you're putting into your body and your mind is so key for you to be able to perform at an optimum level. That's what I'm all about, performing at the optimum level.
So if I could gather you correctly, your boxing starts with very tough mind. So to win, since you have been world champion, so how did you feed your mind, or what did you feed your mind with while practicing physically and going for that world championship?
I had a drive. So what fascinates me about people, why do some people succeed more than others? And I was driven from a very early age. I've figured out, and I've worked on, and I've looked at, what is it that has me be able to perform at a world-class level? And it's the mindset, it's how you think, which in turn has you behave a certain way. Then in turn, you take certain actions consistently over time, will allow you to produce world-class results. But it really takes something. And I had a belief, and I was driven. I was trying to prove something from a very early age, that I was good enough and I wasn't weak. Something happened to me as I was growing up. So I was driven to just trying to prove something out there in the world. So that drive allowed me to get into the ring and produce world-class results. But with years and years of preparation and training, So the work is about doing the work consistently over time will allow for world-class results. But you need to include all of those things that we mentioned earlier. For the journey that you're on, you need to be looking after yourself physically, mentally, nutritionally, spiritually, for you then to be able to produce world-class results in whatever field that you're doing, whether it's in sport, business, life, a marriage, whatever that may be for you.
So, Billy, it is the mind that drives or propels one forward. And of course,
Yeah.
you need to take care of your purpose as well as your nutrition and a spiritual well being. So, that's beautifully put up. Presently, we are in unprecedented time. The
Yep.
world is experiencing almost existential crisis.
Yep.
So, in this point in time, how do you suggest people across the globe? It's not only in Europe or US or in
Yeah.
Asia.
I'm fulfilled. I'm happy. I'm satisfied with my life. I love my life and I love the future that I'm creating, which is a thought process. So, what I focus on is I don't focus on the negativity that surrounds us right now. I focus on what I can control, and that's where I place my energy. So I live there and I live in the future that I'm creating. I look at the news, I'm very interested in what's going on. But what I've trained myself to do is I experience the news on the TV, it feeds back to me. And then what I do, I've figured a way of, I go into a place of gratitude. I get really grateful for what I have and where I am and the health that I've got. And I wish the best for everybody. And lots of people are suffering. And I would just wish them the best that they can get for themselves.
So this sounds to me very beyond mental resiliency. I think you are very much backed with a spirituality or philosophy, because
Yeah.
at times it sounded very much like Buddhism.
Yes. Yeah.
Attitude of gratitude, compassion, you talked. At the same time, you
Yes. All of that.
mentioned about dichotomy of control, which perhaps comes out of a stoicism, the mental resiliency.
Yes.
This sounds fascinating because many a times we suffer because we find ourselves inferior or weak than we actually are. This reminds me of quote by Muhammad Ali, I think everyone's favorite in boxing arena and the
Yeah.
sporting world. He said, "I am the greatest.
Yes.
I said that even before I knew I was."
There you go. That's it right there. He created it in his speaking. And then he lived into that future. And that's who he was.
Let me ask you to share one of your experiences when you lost your very important match. But I could see that you lost very few, only about six.
Yeah.
But how did you learn from your losing your box in boxing arena or boxing ring?
Well, in my defeats in the boxing ring, now I've had defeats in my life. So we look with they're related. So having defeats in the boxing ring is different to getting defeated in life. So getting defeated in the boxing ring is easier than getting knocked down in life, I found. Because in life, when I've retired from boxing, I've been through depression. I had a breakdown. I've been through a divorce. I've been bankrupt. I've lost everything. So that was harder for me to come back from than losing a fight. Because boxing, I knew that world, and that's you win some, you lose some. You prepare, you train, you give it everything. And on the day, you arrive and you give it 100% your best shot, and you win or you lose or you draw. That's that. So then I got to myself at a world-class level. So I knew I had the confidence to step into the ring with any fighter in the world. And I knew in my heart, I had a chance of winning for sure. I could win. So that allowed me to go with anybody in the boxing ring. But in the boxing ring of life, that's why I talk about mental boxing, and boxing is a great metaphor for life, because I struggled with life outside of the boxing ring, because my whole life has been a conditioning, a training to survive in that environment. And then when it was gone, when it was over, because you can't fight forever, you can't box forever. We fight forever internally. That's the mental boxing fights that we have, which we want less of. So we want to let that go. So then life is a challenge. And I've been through some really challenging times. But I always had a belief that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. And I had the responsibility to create my future. And I went to work on myself, because I dismantled who Billy the boxer was to discover who Billy was. And this is now Billy that you're speaking to. You're not speaking to Billy the boxer, because Billy the boxer was trained and conditioned to fight, defend, resist, confront, and attack. That's who I was. But that didn't serve Billy. That works in the environment of a boxing ring, but that doesn't really work in life, in a marriage, in business, in relationships. It doesn't really serve. So I had to learn how to dismantle Billy the boxer and rediscover and reinvent Billy. And this is who you got.
Oh, that's fascinating. It sounds very much Socrates, know thyself. So you could clearly differentiate between the professional you
Yes.
and the person or the individual or the human in you. So I think this is profound insight.
Yes.
And as I could gather from your sharing your personal story, that how did you survive, not only survive, how did you thrive and bounce forward? So perhaps this is really inspiring story to many. And I believe that's what you share in your 12 weeks coaching program. Would you like to share something more about your coaching
Yes.
program?
So what I did was I wrote this book. So during lockdown number one, because my business finished, my livelihood finished as a professional public speaker, that was completely finished. So I realized what I needed to do, I need to do something else. So I had my book written. So I created a 12-week coaching program to go with the book. So that's what I launched in May. So that's been running for 6 months. And it's going amazing. People are getting such amazing results from it. It's just brilliant. And what I've just recently introduced in this second lockdown is the same program, but in small groups. So that's a new thing which I'm now doing, working with small groups. So that's what I create. And then it's a mental boxing training camp, 12 rounds over 12 weeks. And it's all about transforming yourself to be your greatest self. It's unlocking and unleashing yourself to yourself, peeling back the layers of your identity to discover something anew about yourself. So you can be out there in the world living a 10 out of 10 life, being happy, fulfilled, and satisfied. So we unlock that. And that's the work that I now do with my life. And that's what I'm committed to.
So, Billy, it's really interesting that the lockdown and COVID challenges, you turn that into great opportunities,
Yeah.
not only to discover yourself, but to explore new passion and to share your resiliency mantra with
Yeah.
many more.
Yeah.
So, would you like to share your this 3D approach? I found that quite fascinating.
It's the 3 Ds of discipline, dedication, and desire. So there's a positive cycle: discipline, dedication, and at the top there is desire. So desire is the starting point of all achievement. So I created that model when I was in a seminar and I was looking at what was it that had me become a world champion. And it was those 3 Ds: self-discipline on a daily basis, being dedicated over time, so then I could fulfill on my desire. So desire is the starting point of all achievement. It's the first principle of success, knowing what you want. So if you know your desire, you've got to drive and you're disciplined over time, you will fulfill on your desire.
So, to get 10 out of 10 in life, it is doable. You don't have to be boxing champion or the world
No.
champion. Anyone can do it,
Yeah.
provided he or she has the right recipe or right mantra, right? I loved your 3D approach, desire, discipline, and dedication. I
Yeah.
think this sounds very simple, but of course, it needs a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
So, at the end, what would you like to, one message that you want to share with the viewers or listeners?
I think, yeah. So where we're at right now, I've created a 7-step winning formula. And step number 1 is win or lose, you choose. So I want to leave your listeners with that. Win or lose, you choose. And it's a choice you've got to make every day. Every
Okay.
day you've got to powerfully choose your day. You've got to choose the future that you're living into. And choose the everything that you need to do on a daily basis has to be a conscious choice.
So thank you, Billy. It's so wonderful having you with us, and thank you for your time. I'd like to express my gratitude.
Thank you. And thank you, Kathmandu. It's great to
Namaste.
be in Kathmandu with you.
See you.
I'm going to go up Mount Everest. Let's go up Mount Everest.
Yes, we can do your session on the base of Mount Everest
Yes,
very
let's
soon.
do that.
Namaste.
Thank you.